So many people feel like the world is both collapsing and awakening at the same time. And there's a reason for that. Because it is. We are living through a global planetary transformation, not just politically, not just economically, but vibrationally. A shift in human consciousness that's been building for decades and is now accelerating. And Bitcoin is a crucial part of that acceleration. This shift demands something from us. It invites us, individually and collectively, to consciously examine the old programs we've been running on autopilot, the beliefs we've inherited, the systems we've tolerated, and the ways we've moved through life unconsciously. Because the old ways are breaking down, not to punish us, but to liberate us. For generations, much of humanity has lived in what I call the unconscious era, following societal scripts, believing what we're told, adapting to systems designed for someone else's benefit, thinking this is just the way things are. But when you start to question even one pillar of that world, usually the money system, the rest starts to unravel. Because once you realize the money is distorted, you start noticing where everything else is distorted. Food, healthcare, education, relationships, your own identity. You begin waking up from the hypnosis of the fiat world. Bitcoin enters at this precise moment in history as a mirror, reflecting something back to us: truth, transparency, alignment, coherence. Bitcoin doesn't just give us better money, it calls us to become better humans. It forces us to confront our impulsiveness, our fear, our scarcity mindset, our desire to avoid responsibility, our addiction to convenience and illusion. Bitcoin is a spiritual technology disguised as an economic protocol. It upgrades the external world by upgrading us internally first. And this is the moment we're in globally. Everything that is not aligned with truth is coming to the surface. Everything that is built on illusion is fracturing. Everything rooted in unconsciousness is becoming impossible to sustain. That's why governments are panicking. Institutions are crumbling. Relationships are being tested. People are feeling internal pressure they can't explain. Old identities are dissolving. This isn't chaos. It's clearing, a purification, a global audit of the human spirit. We're being invited to examine what is actually mine and what is programming, what beliefs are real and what beliefs were installed, which patterns align with my highest timeline and which ones keep me asleep. We are entering an era where every human will have to choose. Do you continue operating on the unconscious, reactive, fear-based timeline, or do you shift onto a higher, coherent, sovereign one? The sovereign timeline requires self-awareness, personal responsibility, radical honesty, long-term thinking, alignment between your actions, values, and energy. It invites you to become someone your past self may not recognize, but your future self will thank you for. Bitcoin is not the path. It's the catalyst. You are the path. Bitcoin simply reveals the areas where you're still out of alignment and invites you to correct them, not out of fear, but out of resonance. This moment in history is not a coincidence. Humanity is undergoing a consciousness expansion, a migration from fragmentation to coherence, from scarcity to sufficiency, from deception to truth. Bitcoin is the first technology aligned with this new level of consciousness. It is anchored in truth, in math, in thermodynamics, in natural law. It operates at a higher frequency, and when you align with it, you begin operating at a higher frequency too. This is why people say Bitcoin changes them, because it does. This is a planetary shift, and Bitcoin is the bridge into the next timeline. Live with awareness, align with truth, walk the higher timeline. become sovereign.